First ride of 2025. It's been a while in the making. I don't think I've been out since probably December, maybe even November. It's been a good old-fashioned Canadian winter. Feels good to get out on the bike for a short ride as I travel over the Bobbin Bridge in Kingston. Going to do a little bit of a loop around the city, stretch the legs, and maybe talk a little bit about what I have planned for 2025. So what do I have planned for 2025? It's a good question. I tend to be a bit of an opportunist. So some of the rides I did last year, for example, were places I've been invited to visit or just came up by happenstance. This year I'd like to make a bit more of a commitment to be a bit more proactive. One idea I had was to do like one overnighter each month where I stay in a new place or a night or two in a hotel and explore some new trails. So I'd like to hear from you to see what you think of that. That way it'll make sure I get around, try some new things, maybe hit some new trails that I can film and show you guys. And beyond that, not too many. I don't do like a lot of competitive events, but the Atlantic St. Addington gravel ride, which was actually a couple of years ago, my first video I did on this channel, takes place in June. That's a really great ride. This ride I'm doing today is a loop around the city. Not sure how far I'm going to go yet because I don't have tons of time today, but as you can see, it's pretty busy, a bit messy. Most of the roads I'm going to be on do have bike lanes, or at least shoulders that are decent. So to our right here is beautiful City Hall. Of course, Kingston was Canada's first capital before Ottawa. And across the way is Confederation Park. And the tower there is part of the fortifications. Beautiful downtown, love coming down here. Lots of great places to eat. Pretty busy on a bike, but keep my eyes open. Off to my left, if you can see between the cars, is the Breakwater Park. Nice spot. You can actually get off this road if you want for a little while and do the trail. And I do a little exploration of the Gord Downey Pier in my bike tour of Kingston. You can see it dedicated to great Gord Downey, who I knew a little bit growing up in this area. He went to high school with me for a little bit, played hockey. Great guy. So that's an example of some of the conditions you'll run into in this King Street section. This time of year, of course, is always tricky, but it's been a beautiful day. I'm actually getting too warm. It's the historic Kingston Penitentiary, closed a while ago. It has been a historic site for a while, and there's actually talk about turning it into housing developments. There's quite a bit of backlash against that idea, so we'll see what happens. So I made my way to Lake Ontario Park. It's one of my favorite places to come in Kingston, and nice place to stop. Some of my videos you would have seen it featured as part of my cycling around Kingston, and a great place to swim. I walk here a lot with my daughter's dog Darla as well. How does my first ride of 2025 feel? So far so good. Temperature's really nice. Ended up taking off my mitts and get nice and warm. And feels really good to be outside again after several months, which first time in a few years where I haven't been out in months. I have in the past couple of years been able to get out in the winter, but this year was just too cruel. Just wasn't up for it, didn't feel like it, and didn't force it. So if I wasn't out on the bike, what was I doing? Well, I got back into the gym, so I really enjoyed hitting the gym this year, getting a bit more size and strength, and I actually feel it's actually carried over okay. I've also been doing probably on average a couple of spin classes a week. Are not just a cardio fest, you actually work some skill and technique, so I find it helps carry over for the springtime. And of course, I walk a lot, I walk the dog a lot, a little bit of yoga. The older we get, we don't get any more limber, so it's important to really, it's my advice to you, someone who's had a lifelong love and passion for fitness, is as you get a bit older, make sure you do something to kind of continue to build your strength and your flexibility. It carries over to so many great parts of your life as well. So I'm just getting ready to head on to the Great Lakes Waterfront Trail for a little bit, continue our loop around the city. So my first ride of 2025 has been a good one. I was focusing on a couple of different things. One thing was actually another YouTuber in the UK suggested this, just keeping me in the small chain ring in the front, so making it a little bit easier. In the winter, of course, you're not in as good a shape and it's hard to breathe and whatnot. That was a good idea. So I'm playing with that and actually worked pretty well. On a ride like today where it's relatively flat in Kingston, I had a few, maybe like 6 to 8% shorter climbs. But normally I would be in the big ring all the time, so that was okay. The other thing is I've been working on the last year for sure is keeping an eye on my heart rate, trying to typically keep it under about 140 beats per minute. So one thing I'd like to do a little bit better in 2025 is take a bit more action. I'm pretty guilty of waiting for things to meet certain conditions before I jump, whether it's going on a ride by myself or purchasing something or whatever. And sometimes it serves me well, but can also hold me back. So I certainly get a lot of inspiration from people watching the videos and positive comments I've received. So I want to keep going, try and do things